Check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
And
What's
we're live.
up? We are live. What's going on, Pablo?
All right, Steph, how was your weekend?
It was pretty good. I mean, we're going into another weekend, so
That's
we got
right.
a lot to celebrate tonight.
Where are we? We are Latinos in the house.
We are Latinos in the house. That's Pablo Punk Out Gonzalez.
That's Steffi Cash. Cache or Cash?
We can. No, it's Chach.
That's right.
Come on, man. How long you know me and you still sitting there can't?
I like Cash better.
Okay, well, we'll go with Kosh.
How about you, Stephanie G? Well, you have Garza on the flyer.
I know.
How many names do you have?
A lot of
Who you
legal
hiding-
names.
Who are you hiding from?
Hiding from everybody. He wants me. How are you, sir?
Fine.
Well, we got this splendid DJ.
Oh boy.
I don't know if you know his name, but
I think something to do with an animal.
That's the first I've heard that.
I thought it was about fuzziness and stuff like
man.
that, like cufflinks, But some of us know him as Edwin Rios.
Yes,
Others
of course.
know him as Bear.
Yes.
Then he went to BearWho.
Yep.
And now he is Fuzzy Cufflinks.
Yep.
Fuzzy, really?
Well, that's the artist name.
Oh,
I got a whole explanation for that. I can explain it very well.
But before we go into that, I always wanted to ask you. I mean, I haven't seen you in decades.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
How did you come up with your BearWho?
Simple. Real simple. Well, everybody's known me as Bear since in high school. I got that name in high school. I was a big boy, so it was simple. It was simple.
I got a picture of
People in
us.
the room, people in this room can vouch for that.
I got a picture
Me
of
and
us.
Chachi go back, and I know she has pictures when we were shorties.
Yep. Back in the day at Gary Sipich's house. That's where
George
it was
the Mom's
at.
party.
Yep. It was after Legacy had their performance, and we went to go party at his mama's house. It was a good time.
Yeah, man, you see, we got stories. But it's real simple. It's real simple. So, Bear coming up in the neighborhood, mixtapes under Bear. And then what happened was when I left, I would say the security and started working with things. People like, oh, so-and-so. Yeah, of course. So-and-so. Yeah, of course. Bear, they'd be like, BearWho? And I was like, I'm going to keep that now as a moniker because I'm going to prove to myself that people will know who I am through my music and through so I kept it. Actually, ground on question mark, and then it was spelled all different ways. Some people spelled it DJ BearWho, BearWho without a question mark. BearWho. So
Did you ever have BearWho with an exclamation mark?
No. Thank you. I should have thought about
Yo,
that, but no.
BearWho.
No, so it was that's where the BearWho came from.
Oh my God.
Interesting.
Well, welcome home, first of all.
Welcome back to Chicago.
Home,
Yeah.
Welcome home. Let's get baby. It's been a
Almost
long
Florida,
time.
right? 70 outside, 80 outside.
Close to 80. It was 78 when I
Right?
came in.
Yeah.
So, but
Nice warm.
Bear's used to like that Florida weather.
Yes.
He's even.
And it's just being out there. You're just out there, and that's what it is. I've never felt heat like a Miami summer heat, where it's like 110, 112 every day for weeks, and you're just like, oh, this is crazy. It's too hot to even be in the pool or in the beach.
Really?
Even that humidity
Yeah,
is.
because you're in the pool, but as soon as you get out of the pool, so I'd rather stay inside with
The air
the
conditioning.
air conditioning on. That's right.
Well, honey, we started a little bit on your Fullerton days, so why don't we just back up a little bit to the beginning of,
Let's do it.
how you got started and
Who inspired you?
Oh, Punk Out Gonzalez. I'm not BSing. He was definitely one of the influencers. So I'll take it back. I'm 10 years old. It's 1983, and breakdancing, rap was coming in from New York. That's music going on. Steve Silk Hurley and all these guys were doing their thing, and I remember cruising with my father to school. I think it was a teacher, and her teacher was rap. I was like, "What is that? That's what it is. I love this. What is this?" And it was from that time on. It was on. And I come from the time where freestyle was hot, salsa, merengue. My mother was into rock, so we were listening to Rush and Terrence Clearwater and Commodore and James Brown and Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder. And then the Hot Mix 5, BMX screwed my world up. But then actually switched DJ when they're coming down with the crates and the lights and
who was the first DJ you remember?
They were actually my landlords, believe it or not, of my house. So in my landlords had I lived on Mozart in Logan Square. I lived on Mozart Street. And the DJ name was Mix. And you remember this, and if you're a Chicago OG, triple OG like us, it was mobile discos.
That's right.
Oh, that's
Mobile
right.
discos.
Everything. If you're a DJ, you had a mobile disco.
You're right.
So they had a mobile disco. So they came downstairs with their shirts and and the records and everything. I said that's the coolest thing I think I've ever seen. A baseball player and now a DJ. Those are the two coolest things I've ever seen in my life. And after that, I decided I want to do it. I want to know all about it. I want to do that for the rest of my life, and I knew it then.
Were you self-taught or did someone teach you?
Both. I broke every turntable my father had. Motor, but you also have belt drive turntables. So if you try to do the same moves you are with a direct drive, the belt breaks.
Right.
Man, I broke every single track,
Yep.
También, and
Yep.
I think, man, shit.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, when I first bought my first 12-inch at Loop Records, I tried that with my mom's stereo console. I did that, and I got my life for that. She
¿Qué
pays
tú
my-
haces, nena?
I know. I was like, I want to learn how to DJ. Yeah, that didn't happen. But hey,
Needle was broken. Records. So the answer was that. But we studied the mixes like religion, like Bibles. Like you knew what I was going to do. You knew when Mickey Oliver was going to play, and then you recorded these mixes, and all day long, the next day, who did it and when they played it, and then we would swap tapes. Like, I have back on the radio, yeah.
Right.
I have Kenny jamming Jason's tape last night from 11 o'clock. And then what my father and I used to do, and he's recording GCI,
Okay.
and I was recording BMX
oh wow.
at the same time. So we would have a plethora of recorded
Mixtapes.
mixtapes.
That's a real father and son moment.
Cool.
I mentioned my cousin Julio, who came up with me. And he's a fantastic, ferocious DJ. Picked stuff like
Was it?
March 13, 2025.
Wow.
Wow,
March
that was-
13. What? 2025.
That's today. So
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I was like,
So what I'm saying, March 14th, I should say, what I'm saying is, I still am trying to hone in on my skills.
Okay.
I like that.
I like that. Okay.
I like that.
I'll tell you what, when I got the knack for not what we used to call horses and being offbeat. See, here's the deal. Chicago made you a better DJ because everyone around you was so into the music and into the culture and into DJing that we would have 10 guys standing around you while you're DJing and be like, mess up once, play the wrong record, whatever it is. So you had to hone in your skills to be a Chicago DJ. And the day that I got the knack for holding beats and holding mixes and being able to bring things in and everything is just solid and learning how to use the pitch and learning how to use the EQ to make sure everything is just tight. I remember that day. The horses were gone, no more horses. But being around the best and seeing you guys do your thing every day, you get good. You get good.
Give me your top 5 DJs that you can remember from that time.
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Oh man, so this is a trick question. So this is the way I answer that question. There's too many DJs to say that because there's too many genres. Out in the world, you have some of these. And then you have people some other genre. And now you have to today.
Okay.
Back to
Yeah, I mean, people are curious. What? You started your DJ world here, but you also went into a couple of other things, and I want to get into that.
Okay.
Let's get into radio. In case anybody doesn't know, in about 1995, 94, BearWho was actually on B96.
Yep.
What?
Yeah. So I'm telling you, we go back. We go way back, and it's it's amazing what radio has become now. In 94, correctly, it was Steve Harvey had Peaches, Rick Party had First Lady, and of course you had the whole carrot, Eric. But to come up with your because even I listened, and I was so proud of Bear because he just that character that was created or that he created was so awesome. Like people were just so like, oh my God, it's Cookie.
Yeah.
So tell us about that. Tell us about that time.
It's a character that me and my sister made up at the house messing around because in our culture there was a lot of Latinas at the time that were very with the line, with the Looney Tune kind of, the Tasmanian Devil, Bugs Bunny T-shirts, and their hairs were up with the eyeliner and all that, and that was part of the culture. However, we found it kind of humorous too because they all had their own language and their own kind of talk and their own kind of thing. So we started calling them Cookie Giggle Girls. Believe it or not. So we would be at the house and they'd be like, oh, my name is Cookie and I like you. I cruise on Fullerton and blah, blah, blah. And we thought that was funny. So when we hung out as a crew, the guys from B96 previous to that, I would do it and we would all start busting out laughing. Like, that's funny. And then Julian had the idea, dude, we need to put that on my mixtape. Now, since we'll get into that conversation, he was a hero to me. You know what I mean? Like, this is a dude that brought me in at 17 years old. Yeah. I used to throw parties host parties at St. John Birchman. Mm-hmm. That was the spot in Logan Square where everybody kind of came up. And we used to book Julian, Bill on a regular basis for the parties, even once a weekend or I don't even remember how many parties we threw at Birchman. But I got to know him because I was hosting these parties. And then I was hosting as Bear all these parties all over the city. Okay. And Julian and I became friends. And long story short, working at Jumpin' Music at the record store, we became really close.
Is that out
Fullerton and Grand. It was Grand.
Okay.
Yep.
And we wound up doing the Cookie thing on the radio, and it took off, man. Like we were hearing cars passing us playing the Cookie thing everywhere. It was hilarious. How popular it became. And then we used to do the B96 live, Toto's, Eric's North, the Warehouse, whatever. Especially the Warehouse. Julian, get on the mic and do the Cookie thing. I do it, and everybody recognized it.
In front of the live audience?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. People recognized it, and then once we got the radio show, the Street Flavor thing, we got to do a Cookie live on the radio. And as soon as I did it, the phones lit up. Like everybody knew what it was. So you had an incredible DJ like Julian. Tim was there. Mike Dunn was there at the time. And we had a mix show on prime time on a Sunday. And Cookie was one of the hosts, and we would laugh, we would joke, and it just became a cultural phenomenon.
You think you can? Don't want to put you on the spot.
I can't do it no more.
Can you do a Cookie?
I can't do it anymore. I tried. I'm sorry.
That was pretty good.
I love you. Page me.
Not page me.
That was the last thing we used to say.
Baby Bestels.
know, it's funny because you mentioned Mike Dunn, and I don't think a lot of people even knew that Mike Dunn was.
Give me some of that deep house.
I don't think they even like put two and two together that Mike Dunn was a part of B96. So
Right. I never
that's
knew
a
that.
little bit of
So
history
now,
for those who
I
couldn't
just
figure
learned
that
that
one
now.
out.
We had an all-star team. Like Nonstop was part of it at a time. I know Mike for sure. Tim was the heart and soul. And I remember right before us was Frankie Hollywood Rodriguez was on the radio. So he would hand it off to us, and then
Well, I think it was Brian
Middleton.
Middleton, yeah. Brian
Middleton was around too. Another cool brother at the time. But yeah, man, the cookie thing blew up, and next thing you know, it was one mixtape, and then another mixtape, and then, Cookie was popular, and it became, like I said, a thing where I was saying earlier today, I met myself 2 or 3 times, and people are like, oh yeah, my boy does Cookie, I do Cookie. I'm like, oh, you do? That's amazing. And I'm like, okay. So then I kind of like, it started for me, it kind of started becoming like, oh, okay, yeah, Cookie thing, is I had so much more, wanted to do. I wanted to, produce and make records, and I was already writing, and I had all the creativity with voices and this. And it was just time for me to spread my wings, man. My B96 times was over.
Okay, so what happened after B96?
I actually opened up my own record store for a little bit.
Really?
I had a record store called Untitled. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
In the hood, down on Fullerton and Klossner, actually. In the
Really?
hood.
I had no idea.
So I had my own record store for a while, and it was tough. Being by myself, trying to do it on my own. It was tough. And then one day, and that's when I actually, man, it's crazy. I'm thinking about this. That's when actually me and Fast Eddie became really
Best
good
friends,
friends.
yeah.
Best friends.
Because you guys hung tough. I remember like the
we
car
were
shows
inseparable,
and
man.
everything.
Yeah, we were inseparable. I was there when we did Booty Call. The guys did Sneak and Eddie did it. I had nothing to do with Booty Call. There was a rumor that I had no. That was Ed, and that was Sneak. That I had nothing to do with Booty Call. Just it was the crew that I happened to be in that made that record. And that record blew up, and we were a team. You know what I mean? And we rode on Fullerton, and that was it. We hung on Fullerton. That was our thing. Sneak and Eddie worked at Hip House. I worked at Jumpin' Music, so it was it was a family kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then after that, B96 once again, I was like, Sneak came around and I said, yo, dude, I'm gonna show you a different kind of lifestyle. He's like, I want to bring you to gramophone.
Okay.
He's like, he at the time Sneak was already world famous, and he was like very, very close. Like people thought we were cousins actually all around the world. And
Shouts out to DJ
we
Sneak.
wound up going to. I wound up taking his position at Gramophone because he was touring now.
Okay.
And I started my tenure at Gramophone, and I felt like it was a graduation. To me, Gramophone was like the university of.
I
of-
love
Yeah,
that.
record stores.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, wow, Robbie Rosario's around, Terry Bristol's there, and there's Psycho Bitch, and there's Mark Farina, and there's G-Most, and there's, Heather, and Terry Mullen, and it's just like Hector Lopez, and Andy Moy. I was like, this is heaven, this is real. And you're people like, Common is walking around buying records, and everybody in the industry is there.
Been there.
Every weekend.
And it was something else to be part of it.
How long were you there for?
I would say about 3 years.
Okay.
3 years.
That's a good time.
And then after that, my tenure there came to an end because I got a phone call from SHR Records, Underground Construction.
Okay. Why?
And they said, listen, we've been following your career. We know you from Jumpin' Music because the guys that own Hip House is SHR. That's UC Music.
Okay.
So the record store was owned, DJ Andy, Robert Quinn. And one day they called and like, listen, we need a promotion director. We need somebody that's going to take our label, make it cool. Bring it to the masses because we're still kind of there, but we can't become cool for some reason. Can you? So I was like man, do I want to do that?
And were you ready for it?
And I was ready because I had done all these different things already. I was on the radio, the Fullerton thing, and then the record store, and then B96, and then my own store, and now. So now I'm like,
You're evolving.
Yeah, so I'm evolving exactly. So I'm like, okay. And at this time, I was really honing in on my DJ skills because I'm like I said, this is when the BearWho came about. It's like, oh, Derek Carter, yeah, Psycho Bitch, yeah, Josh Warner, yeah, Bear. They're like, right?
BearWho.
So I was really concentrating on my DJ skills, and that's when I got the phone call from DJ Attack saying, hey, listen, actually it was Rob. We need somebody like you to run our label. And do you have some time? I was like, okay. And I thought about it. I went home and I was like, I think my record store days are over. Because this is where I wanted to be. I wanted to be in the record label industry. And I went over there and I met with DJ Attack, rest in peace. This man was such an influence on my life. I went there, we sat down and we fought first day. And he's like, I don't fucking want you here. I'm like, I don't want to be here.
Really?
He's like, you can go home. And I'm like,
whoa.
You can take UC and all this stuff because it ain't real. I'm out. Peace.
It ain't real. Oh my God.
Yeah. I got home.
Nice to meet you too.
I got home. I got home from the meeting. This is a true story. I got home from the meeting, and I think it was Rob who called me. He says, "You got the job, bro. Andy loves you." He's like, "You start tomorrow." So that's when I had to go to a gramophone and be like, "I'm done.
Okay.
It's time for me to grow up." And then that started a whole other part of my life.
Okay, so now you're with this record label, and what were your duties there? And what you
Everything.
did? Everything.
I was
distributor.
I was the one that was gonna bring the cool to the cool, man. Like, you know, I all my friends were the most famous DJs in the world at the time, and you know, it was time for me to like, okay, take our product, make it cool, design it, organize it, bring in talent if I saw fit, organize all the promos, organize the promo list, and make us popular in Chicago, and hopefully use enough juice that we become an international record label. And you see, what people don't understand is SHR was a powerful movement. It started off because they did Speed Racer.
You guys did that?
That was Andy. That was DJ Attack.
I was about to ask you what artists were on that label.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Donna Blakely, Pampin' and Knox, Dino Latino, DJ Tragic and Sex Craze Superstars, Spiro, Rick Garcia, Lego, Johnny Fiasco, Rafi Rosario, DJ Funk, Paul Johnson, Roy Davis Jr., Ron Carroll, Naughty Boy Nardi.
All-star list.
It is an all-star list.
Danceworks. So let's go with Danceworks real quick, because Danceworks actually between Tragic and Danceworks, which was Kevin Halston and Alex, they put a sound to UC that took over, I say, the world. I mean, that hard house and it blew up. It became the sound of, I mean, Tragic is still known as one of the greatest DJs in all of South America. They still revere him. Like, you go to Brazil and they get posters of him, dude. Dave Rock and Duke at the time. And then you had the whole West Coast, you know, Henry and Tony B and Humpty, and then Bill had Moody at the time. Mm-hmm. So UC and Moody, they cornered the market on this stuff, you know. And this was every day. This was my life. Like, oh, what's up, Funk? Oh, what's up, Paul? Oh, you know, Andy, we have a meeting. Oh, Pampin' and Knox are supposed to perform at the Riv, or not the Riv, Nitro, or, you know, Dino Latino's got a gig in Dallas, and I was in charge of all that.
So here's I'm glad you brought all that up, because obviously, you know, we started this entire conference because of the neglect in just different genres of music. But you labeling like that entire A list on the label, I mean, to me that says a lot, one, for Chicago, because they keep thinking that we're not a mecca, and we are.
Who's they?
Others, let's put it that way.
Okay.
Others. And yet, somehow or other, and even in this list that we just heard, they get neglected to be mentioned. Like, every time we hear, and I know I'm going off on a tangent, and we'll go back to it, but just hearing that A list, and yet, somehow or other, we only hear certain names, and we don't hear those names.
Well, that's because there's certain people telling the story. Like, it's kind of like news, right? If you watch Fox News, you're going to get news a certain way. If you watch CNN, you're going to get news a certain way. You know, if you watch Channel 2 or Channel 5 or Channel 7 in Chicago, you get news information in a certain way. It's who's been telling the story. We've really never had a shot to tell. I've never been able to tell the story. That was one reason I was happy to come on the podcast and kind of let loose, because people can't tell the story. Why? Because they don't live it. Yeah. They weren't 10 years old, 11 years old, collecting posters off the poles, and you know.
Was that you taking my posters down?
Man, I took every poster I saw. And you were on a lot of posters, Jack.
We had this discussion.
You were on a lot of posters, my man. I mean, shout outs to Sly Hulu the Fox, Steve the Savage Sakurai. Dude, I can keep going. You know, I could keep going. Hector Lopez.
There were a lot of you
Al
guys.
Cisneros and Tony Batoy should be telling their story more, and they have not.
Well,
That's
Al
a
will be
damn
here
shame.
telling his story soon.
Great. Al needs a Netflix series.
Yeah, he
I
does.
agree.
I know.
But I think they both do.
Actually, a
I
Tony
think they
Batoy,
both
Al
do.
Cisneros kind of thing.
Yeah.
Tony T. Edward Get Down Crosby.
Right.
Tony, we'll be calling you soon.
Fast Eddie. Mike Hitman Wilson.
Oh,
Like,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
and to see these guys every day.
it could be
I don't-
different seasons.
It could
The
be.
season of Bear.
Oh no. So I just think the story hasn't been told because when I do travel, when I go abroad, the respect and and it's there. However, it's an ignorant kind of scenario. Not in a negative way, but they just don't know.
No, they
You know,
don't.
they just don't know. And there's so many of us. And here's another thing, Steph. Happy International Women's Day a couple of days ago.
Oh, thank you.
Women house DJ Chicago don't get their fair share, and they're just as good and just as popular as the guys, and that's a messed up thing. Because every time we have these discussions, it's always male, and I'm always the first to say it. I've been surrounded by some of the greatest female DJs of all time, and they could take out any dude anytime.
So let me ask you this, because I've had this conversation with other males that are pretty open about it, and some have said that they feel that women aren't brought up more or put out there more because there is, I guess, it's an ego trip. They don't want them to succeed higher than them. Do you feel that way?
Me? Listen, if you can burn a dance floor and you can bump it, that's it. That's your judge. That's your executioner. That's your whatever you want to call it. That's it. Like, a couple decades ago, seeing Terry Bristol and Psycho Bitch on 6 turntables at Crowbar.
Yeah,
Watch out, brother.
that was great.
I don't care who you are. That's a show, Jack.
Yeah.
And Psycho Bitch and Terry are gonna go down as some of the greatest DJs. Period. You talking about Medusas, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Untouchable.
You know, and those ladies held it down for a long,
Yeah, they did.
long time. Rest in peace, Terry, who was another great friend of mine, and so is Val. They taught me a lot, and Val taught me how to really manage a residency. She held me down at a residency and at Club Neo.
Oh, I love Neo.
Yo.
Neo
Yeah.
Mondays,
Really?
New
Wow.
Wave, Alternative.
And it was her residency, and I was her opener. And she didn't need to do that, but she did because she saw something in me, man, and she gave me that shot. And this is somebody like I revered, like one of Medusas when I was a shorty, and John Curley and Psycho Bitch and Terry and doing their thing there. And so when you're surrounding yourself with so many of these people, damn, you're gonna get good.
That's a good
You know what I'm
point.
saying?
Yeah.
Because at
It's
any
gonna
point,
rub off.
Oscar McMillan, Daryl Woodson. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's Colette.
Colette, I remember when Colette started because
Me too.
Colette was a
Singer.
opera singer.
Yes, ma'am.
She was a trained opera singer, and I remember meeting her about when she was 18. I met her in Lego at the same time.
Yeah,
Lego
that was our
starting to do
crew. That was our crew.
Lego was starting to do the undergrounds
Yep.
over on Milwaukee Avenue, and Colette was an opera singer, and then look where it took her. I
Yep.
mean, it's amazing. Again, it's amazing the artists that we have, the DJs that we have, and yet it's just
Yeah, I met
there's
Colette
not a mention.
through Lego when we were young. Because me and Lego, of course, everybody knows that we were two peas in a pod. We grew up together since we were born together. His mom and my parents are his godparents actually. And so everybody's like, oh, you guys are cousins. Yeah, we are, not by blood, but no, Lego. I don't mention him enough. Lego is also a big piece of culture here in Chicago. And but I met Colette and that whole road through Ralphie, through Lego, and me and Colette are still, I call her her like my sister. We're that close, still. But yeah.
So now we go from DJ to now educator.
Educator.
Because when we talked, I was like, what?
Yeah.
What? You're a dean? What?
Yes.
What are you talking about? So how did that come about? Because now we're going from like working at a record label to now, hey, I think I need to do something different with my life.
I'm a hood dude. I'm a Fullerton, Humboldt Park, Logan Square cat. You know what I'm saying?
Hustle. It's in our blood.
And in '83 and '84, it was rough out there. Not as rough as it is today, I don't think. But we had our dilemmas. But one thing about them was it was a culture. Like parents knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
You get in trouble, my parents are gonna talk to your parents. And it was kind of like that. I've always wanted to pay it forward. and I always wanted that, man, we need more help. I was fortunate enough to go to private school majority of the time until I got to high school, and then I went to public school. But the outlets weren't there for us. You know what I mean? The outlets weren't there for us. It was like, okay, go to school and become a police officer, or go to school and become a fireman or an astronaut. You could do it. You can do it. Yeah, okay, you keep saying it, but there's not a clear path.
Right.
And as I got older and the DJ thing took off, and I was doing the radio, Bear was Bear. At 40 years old, which is already 12 years ago, which is, I cannot believe this, I decided I'm going to go back to school and get my master's.
Okay.
So I went back to North Park University. Shout out to the Vikings. That's where I did my undergrad. My parents were not joking around when it came to this DJing and education. You could DJ, you could do whatever you want, but boy, you're going to go to school. There wasn't even a question about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can hang out with whoever you want to, but you better be home at a certain time, and you better have your homework done, and you better the school thing. So it was always in my head, and I always convinced myself, if I'm going to do this DJ thing for real, I got to be smart. I got to be educated so I can be able to sit in any room with anybody and be able to deal with anything that comes my way. And I want to be able to be, knowledge is infinite, knowledge itself is everything. So at 40 years old, I went back so I can be like, listen, I can tell these kids that are in high school or in grammar school or CPS, I'm one of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that was missing was the credibility. What do I mean by that? You didn't have famous DJs and people that the kids looked up to in the school.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Telling them this, Papi, Mom, I'm gonna do the cooking.
You
thing.
can do it.
Yeah, Papi, you can do it. You can do this and this and this. Okay, well, Mom, can you help me with homework? No. Or Mom's not around or Dad's not around. So what's the kid gonna do? All right, cool. So I'm like, listen, I got to make a difference. I went back to school. I got my master's degree in education. Right after that, I went into CPS and became a substitute teacher. Got my feet wet in the back of the yards, Hamline School.
That's right, back of the yards, baby. Back of the yards, homegrown right here.
So I was at Hamline School as a substitute my first year. I didn't know what I was doing. But one thing I did know was my story was resonating with these kids, and I was different.
Yeah.
Tattoos and muscles and all it's Jordans, and they're like, whoa, this. And I used to tell the kids, listen, I'm just a time machine, man. I'm you 30 years in the future. I have found the treasure. I got the map. Let me show you what it is. You don't have to struggle because you can see I did it. And they're like, yo, you can't tell me now. It's like Kanye West song. Wait till I get my money right. Can't tell me nothing. So I'm like, tell these kids, what are you going to tell me? That I'm lame, that I don't understand. I'm like, your parents used to come to my parties. You know what I'm saying? So I wound up being, after Hurricane Maria, that changed my life. A friend of mine who was actually a big BearWho fan, would go to all my parties, became the principal, the first openly gay Puerto Rican male principal of Clemente. I knew him. I was congratulated him. They had a Hurricane Maria fundraiser. He's like, man, Bear, bro, I heard that you have your license now. I'm like, yeah. He goes, why don't you come to Clemente? And I was like, hell no, are you crazy, man? That kid's eat me up. But then I thought about it. I said, no. You know what? That's exactly where I need to be. Yeah. This is why I did it. And I went to Clemente, and I never forget, I was walking in, and some kid saw me in the hallway. He's like, yo. I'm like, yo, what's up? He's like, some dope Jordans, bro. And I'm like, of course. Yeah. He's like, oh. Next thing you know, I was a cadre there. What that means is a cadre is a everyday substitute. Like, you work there already, and anybody that's not available or teachers you're already taking their spot. Okay. So you're there on a regular basis. I fell in love with the school, and the school fell in love with me. And next thing you know, the principal approached me, calls me in the office, and says, hey man, I want you to be the dean. I said, really? And he's like, that's where you need to be. And he goes, you understand what a dean is? Of course I understand what a dean is. And he's like, well, that's when I got.
You went from substitute to dean
within a month.
That's.
I was in charge.
Fast paced.
Yeah. So, but they needed it. And my first couple of months as dean, I cried. I came home crying and upset, and I didn't know what I was doing. And these kids were eating me up. And I'm trying to help everybody. Every kid, freshman, sophomore. And the way we did it was that you were assigned to a certain year. So I had, at the time, believe it or not, I had the sophomores.
That's a very confusing.
And and now that I was an educator, the sophomore class is the toughest. Mm-hmm. Why? Mm-hmm. Explain. Freshmen, you're babies. Everybody's babying you. I know, in the classes and they're college and get ready. Cool. And you're 13, 14, 15 years old, right? Junior year is obviously your junior year. It's like you got to get ready for college and you really got to do it and you got to be in it. Cool. Senior year, you're out the door. So you're already prom and all that stuff. So the sophomores are forgotten. And that's the toughest age to be as a teenager. 15, 16 years old, that's when you need help. That's when you really need it. So that's where I was. And I'll never forget my class. And I became the sophomore dean. And I grew up with him, freshman, sophomore year, then junior year, then senior year. And then I became the dean again as per the freshman. And after 4 years of being there, buried about 6 kids.
Wow.
Dealt with domestic violence. We had a young lady that was kidnapped and was used as a sex worker that we had to rescue. And then you had kids that really wanted out. Then you had kids that their parents went to Clemente, got kicked out, and now 30 years later, their kids going there. So it was trying to break the chain, and I was trying to do it my way. The Chicago Humboldt Park. Look at me, I did this. And here's a real quick thing I want to talk about. My parents graduated from there.
Clemente.
Yeah. It was Thule at the time, but it was still Clemente. And so I felt like I owed it.
Okay.
I owed it. And after 4 years, the hardest part to me was I left during COVID. COVID hit, and I never got to see those kids again because everybody was in the house.
Yeah, they were in the house.
And then we transferred
e-learning.
to online learning, and that was horrible. That was horrible.
Yeah, I hear nightmares.
We had a kid that was throwing close to 95, 96 miles an hour. And he was very excited. Like, we're going to have a great season. Oh, boy, you're going to get looked at and whatever. COVID hit. Nothing.
COVID messed up a lot of things for a lot of people, a lot of students, and I feel bad for a lot of those students, mostly the 8th graders, because they didn't know what an 8th grade graduation was. So they finally found out last year what graduation was supposed to be.
Or prom.
Yeah, or prom.
High school prom. Even.
So, I mean, it was just a really hard time for juniors, seniors, 8th graders. It's one of those memorable years I think everybody can speak about.
Were you going to your first year of high school online?
Well, I'm going to tell you what happened to a lot of these kids. Think about it in this term. You're a 12-year-old little kid, right? Your body's changing. You're starting to think different things, and you're saying, whoa, all of a sudden, so you're a seventh grader. 2 years later, you're 14 years old, and you're a freshman in high school, and you've been sitting home for a year and a half. On your phone or on your computer, so a lot of the kids weren't ready now.
Yeah.
No, they weren't socially ready.
And I remember when the kids came back, none of the kids were raising their hands. None of the kids were being social at all. And Clemente, we didn't allow phones. Like, you had to turn in your phone before school, and you got your phone afterwards. And it was something else.
So let's talk about how you took your DJ life and your life as a teacher. How did you combine these two? What'd you do next?
My wife calls me. She says, "Man, babe, you're like Batman. During the day, you're Bruce Wayne. So I'm Dean Rios during the day, but I'm still on the phone with, all these clubs and record labels and DJs and people trying to, I need a BearWho track and I'm still doing all that. I'm still spinning and throwing residencies on the weekends and catching airplanes to different countries during the weekend, and then come back on Monday and be Dean Rios again. But I think what happened was the kids saw that and they understood what was going on, and it was like more of a, man, if he can do all this, man, I can do it. And everybody wanted to be a rapper. Every single dude in the whole school.
The whole school's rapping.
I'm gonna work.
Well, the times are changing now.
And I used to tell them, I said, that's cool, but I can go to any school and there's about 1,000 kids that are gonna say the same thing. Do it like I did with the DJ stuff, but you gotta have your education, man. You know what I mean? Because what people don't realize, what happens if you fall down the stairs and you break your leg and no more rapping, no more anything? How are you gonna survive?
Yeah.
There's certain things called insurance. There's certain things called 401k. There's certain things called, in a while, you're going to need a mortgage. You're going to need credit. You're going to need all that. And nobody was teaching these kids that.
And they're still not. Unfortunately, they're still not. But
it's there. Abilities are there. It's just a matter of people don't.
Kids are coachable moments. They are coachable moments because their mind is still a sponge. Like, they want to learn. And they want to know different, and I think that's something that you saw and was a blessing to you, because that's the part that you said you wanted to give back. You
Yeah.
wanted them to understand somebody does care about you. Somebody does want you to succeed. Someone is here for you to guide you no matter what. And if you're the run, if they need to run away, you're the person that, hey, I got you, and let me see where it can
Oh,
go.
yeah.
I mean, I'm in the educational business, not on the teacher side, but I see these students every day, and it's heartbreaking at times to see what they go through. It's heartbreaking to sometimes walk into school whether or not you're not going to know if one of these kids come back.
Yep.
And I think suicide's so high right now because they don't know what to do. They don't know that outlet because, again, let's go back to COVID. It didn't allow for them to understand what they were about to experience in life and the changes that they were about to go through as a
Absolutely.
teenager.
Absolutely.
So, well, now let's move forward.
Absolutely.
You're a dean, and now all of a
Then,
sudden,
then no more Dean.
no more dean, and now all of a sudden, Bear wants to move to Florida.
It's funny how that worked. So, right during that time, I made a decision. Like, I've done my whole thing in Chicago my whole life. I've done the radio thing, record label thing, promoter thing. Now I did the Dean thing, and I was just like, it's time for me to move to a different kind of environment.
Okay.
And Miami, if you know Miami, it is a
Party mecca.
a mecca of the biggest and the most grandest kind of house clubs and DJs that you can possibly imagine. I mean, you've been to a music conference.
Yeah.
You all have. And living there now is like, whoa, you're seeing on a regular basis, clubs that don't have any license to close. Like spaces can be open 24 hours, 365 days a year.
Going back to Miami.
And you got it's Tuesday afternoon or Monday afternoon, 3 or 4 in the afternoon. And there's a line around the block for people still trying to get into space.
Clevelander still around?
The Clevelander is still around, but South Beach is a little different than it used to be.
That's
It's more of
what I
a
hear.
it's more shut down now. Like they're controlling it a little bit more. But so I went to Miami and I connected with some more I would say another kind of team, and then it really took off. It put me in a position where I was around other people that weren't necessarily from Chicago, but
In the music business?
oh yeah,
Talk about?
oh yeah, oh yeah. People that I've been listening to radio wise and record wise for years, and now I'm like I have an opportunity to be like, okay, you're in the crew now, and you're Bear, so you're coming to the table. It was kind of like in a way, I won't say Michael Jordan, but like a Michael Jordan or LeBron or somebody looking for a new team.
Okay.
So Miami was quick to be like, yo, you're on our team and you're definitely starting, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And so I was embraced by Miami, and it's been a blessing ever since.
So then how did Fuzzy Cufflinks get into
That's
the
easy.
mix?
That's easy. So actually, it's funny. Fuzzy Cufflinks was a character, like a cookie thing that I invented. He was the wild, crazy artist, Shock G Humpty Hump.
Oh, damn.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm trying to
if you
picture
know
that.
it makes
I'm trying to
sense.
picture that.
Cashmere Green Velvet.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay? So Fuzzy Cufflinks was a character that allowed me to do vocals for people, be a little bit more spontaneous, be a little bit more experimental. Whereas Bear is still Bear. I'm just still me, the
Yeah.
DJ, the producer, the business guy. Oh, what's up, Bear? That kind of thing. So it allowed me to play both. And I'm going to say this. I had a record called Fix My Sink. You guys
Okay.
never heard of Fix My Sink? It was the
My
biggest
bad.
record
We're
I've
gonna
ever
have to
had.
find-
It
go
was
find
me.
that.
It was actually me and
Go
Sink.
find that.
Google it.
Oh yeah, it was a pop hit all over the world.
Fix my sink.
Oh, yeah, you never heard of Fix My Sink?
Sometimes
Ooh.
I
So
know.
put DJ Sneak BearWho Fix My Sink and you'll see what it is.
Sneak.
So that song was actually supposed to be Fuzzy Cufflinks. It wasn't supposed to be BearWho. Problem was the song Pete Tong played it on Radio 1 and it got bootlegged. So we had to put it out immediately before, it got booted and somebody else takes all the credit. Screaming Rachel trying to steal it. There it is. Look at the video. Yeah. We the same people that made that video made Shaggy Angel. That's Fuzzy Cufflinks. That's the character. That's and you can see it that's not me. That's somebody else. Oh yeah. She said, fix my sink, fuck my fuck, walk my walk, talk my talk, do what you gotta do. She said, fix my sink. Fuzzy, you see?
So when was this made?
2003.
Why am I just finding this out?
Chicago, you see what I'm saying? So I toured all over the world because of that record, and that record was supposed to be Fuzzy Cufflinks, but like I said, because of the expedited release, they released it as BearWho, and I was like, oh, all right, now okay, I'm gonna go down that road. So it was BearWho. It was a little confusing because I didn't really want to be an artist as BearWho. I had other things I wanted to do, but so Fuzzy Cufflinks was created, and there's a record. If you guys, all my vinyl people, look at the birth of Fuzzy Cufflinks. That was the first record I put out as Fuzzy Cufflinks, 1999 maybe, on cross section, and that's where it took off from there. And I've been able to do vocals that I would normally do under Fuzzy Cufflinks.
I gotta get a Bear Fuzzy Cufflink collection going on.
Oh yeah, BearWho.com, baby. Go to my store.
BearWho.com. There you go. Get your bear fix.
That's right.
BearWho.com.
That's right. Fuzzy gear. That's what I call it.
Nice.
So we're gonna move a little forward because I want to move a little backward before we're done.
Yeah, let's roll.
So apparently, from what I hear, Fuzzy Cufflinks BearWho now becomes Edwin Rios by his government name. And by his government name, I mean published child book author.
Yes.
How awesome. First off, let's
you.
just give some claps to that. 'Cause that is like really huge. Like, you've got DJs who like do their own documentaries and write their own books about house music. Now, Edwin Rios, chose to do a child's book.
That's right.
Come on, man. Tell me about that.
Watching these DJs do their thing and seeing like a Pablo Punca Gonzalez when I was younger, or seeing doing their thing, it was like magic. It was like they're creating magic, and they were sharing it with us.
Sorry.
And I had this idea, like, man, I wish I could share with the younger generation what it felt like to be in our time to be a DJ. So I kind of put it all together, the DJ and the experience as a DJ and growing up in this culture, the education thing together, and a way to be something fun to share that. When is that next generation of 10-year-old kids or 9-year-old kids like I was, or 11-year-old kids, to share that excitement? So how was what I was going to do it? Using technology too. I can't draw at all, but I did all those illustrations.
Yeah, we were having a conversation about this.
I use AI for everything. Wow, and that's so hard to do. I don't know if anybody's tried to use AI before.
I'm learning. It's hard.
It is really hard. So it took me, I created about 150 to 200 images. Wow. Before I started taking this. Wow, I was just doing it. And here's the story. I went to my nephew, who's 5 years old, Asher. He asked me. He's like, "Would you come to my school and read to my classroom for story day?" So I did. So as I went, I was reading a book about boats, and I'm like, "This is boring as shit." So the kids are kind of looking at me. They're all like 5 years old, 6-year-old looking at me. I'm like, oh, and I was trying to make it as fun as possible. I said, I could do this.
Did you read it as Cookie?
No, bro, not at all. Cookie.
Question was, did he read it as Cookie?
Yeah, no, Cookie retired, man. She's in the elderly home. She's
anyway.
Yeah, I think the way she was. Yeah, I think the way she was. So, when you posted this out, I went and got my own copy of
You did.
Dreams of Being a DJ.
Yeah.
And I read the book.
Yeah.
And I really did like it. It was just like...
It's cute.
It was very cute. It was very simple. It was very easy read. And I read it to my granddaughter, which I thought was kind of cool. And my grandson, I don't know if you saw the picture. I think I sent you the picture where he was DJing. So, I mean...
There's DJ battles for kids.
Yeah, there's DJ battles for kids.
You can't get around how popular DJing has become. It is a cultural phenomenon, and it made it easier and easier for younger and younger to do it because it's technology. Like, you can DJ on your cell phone. You can DJ on your iPad. There's different actual DJ console setups for kids. And I saw it, and I was like, you know what? They need somebody that's going to tell them that actually has done it. This is cool to do.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a musician. You can also be a DJ.
So, in reading the book, I'm gonna go with the last page of this book because I was mad. I was mad.
Don't get Stephanie mad.
And I was really, really like, what was he thinking? Like,
It's very simple.
the ending of the book says, music can bring people together no matter where they're from. Now, I read this whole book, and I'm like, is that how you're going to end it? Like, what's up? Not knowing that book number 2, I Can Be a DJ Anywhere, was the next book.
Correct.
And I was like, I knew that we're not going to end it this way. I knew you could. It was kind of like those those paper book novelas. Like, oh my God, there's the cliffhanger.
I'm going to mess you up.
What are you going to do?
Mess you up. It's a mix.
Okay.
No
I went from
way.
one record to the next record to the next record.
Man.
I can dreams of being a DJ is actually that. Wow, I have dreams of being a DJ. What is a DJ? What is that about? Wow, this is great. You got to have some equipment to do it. How are you going to pay for it when you're a little kid? How did we do it? Well, we did chores. We did whatever we could to make. Let me buy one turntable. Pablo got another turntable, and Steph got the speakers. Now we're a DJ team, kind of thing. Mike got the record, so now we're a DJ crew. And that's how we did it. So then it leaves you at that. I can it's for anybody. Now my next question to you is like, okay, dreams of being DJ, but now where would you DJ if you could? So this book is a fantasy, magical kind of story saying I could DJ in a candy land. I could DJ in a hot air balloon. I could DJ on a beach. I could DJ in the North Pole.
That is so cool.
I like that.
Yeah, I can DJ, and the visuals go with it.
Now it makes sense because I was when I was
This
telling
comes out
Mike,
March 21st.
I was telling Mike, I was like, what? And I was, maybe I missed something in the reading.
I'm sorry I upset you, Steph.
You did, because I was like all into it. I'm like, all right, how's this going to end? Not realizing there was going to be, a 3-book series, which I think is really cool because I didn't see that one coming. And then when we had this discussion, you're like, yeah, I got book 2, and then in October is book 3. So March 21st, I Can DJ Anywhere.
Right.
Go on Amazon.
That's right.
You can get the hardcover or you can get the soft cover, but please get these books. Read them to your kids. Have some fun with them. I swear you won't go wrong on them. And I can't wait to get these 2 books. I'll pay for them because, it's all about business. But, I am so excited. Like, when you were coming up with these stories, what was going through your head? Because, just to write a book for just regular writers isn't easy. So, where were you? You knew where you were going with this one, but what made you go to this one next?
Illustrations. When I started doing the pictures, and I'm like, I did the picture a certain way, I got to write to that, to describe it. So I can DJ anywhere, and then it's like, okay. And one thing that I really wanted to stress is the book is really, really diverse. You're talking about black, white, Latino, Asian, you name it. I put my wife in there. She's Indian. I put her in there as a cartoon character.
So there's not one main character. There's
Not necessarily.
several.
No, it's several.
Beautiful.
It's several. It's a story, and anybody can relate to it. Whether you're a little young little white girl, or a little black kid, or a little Mexican kid, you all can relate to it. And then the third one is dreams of being a DJ. You can DJ anywhere, and the ultimate name. What's your DJ name?
your DJ name.
Now, if you're going to be a DJ, what's your name going to be? So I created 25 fictional characters. I gave them all DJ names and styles so kids can relate. So if you look at the book,
I'm going to look at it right
Check it
now.
out. Check
Because
it
you
out.
know,
Great idea.
because
Wow.
I like
see,
having
DJ Bumble Bounce. See,
Oh
and
my
all these DJs and all these characters I created.
So it's
Keep
the
going.
DJ Bumble Bounce. I'm DJ Bubble Bounce. My beats are bouncy and playful, buzzing through the air like a happy bee. I make sure everyone has fun. Oh, that is so awesome! Look at us.
Keep going. Keep going, Steph.
Oh
Give
my
one more. So that's the how the book
DJ
is.
Me.
That's how it is.
I'm DJ Me. I love who I am. Oh, that's awesome. My family and my friends love me for who I am, and I love them back. Remember, being a DJ is about more than just music. It's about celebrating who you are and sharing your unique rhythm with the world. That is awesome.
You nailed it, dude.
Yeah.
You nailed it, man.
And there you
Yeah.
go. So I got all 3 books. They're called the DJ Books Children Book Series. And there's, like I said, there's 3 of them. You get them on Amazon. The hard copies I try to save for live book signings.
Okay.
Like when I'm in your town.
I guess you just beat that cartoon.
Do it.
I'm telling you.
I'm serious.
Like
People
a Saturday morning
Yeah,
cartoon.
man.
Bring back some Saturday morning cartoons with DJs.
That's what we thought about.
I'm all for it.
There's something that we're gonna do with this. I don't want to spoil it yet because I got to keep Stephanie on her toes. But
Oh, Lord.
there's something else, another part to this that will be coming out soon. But yeah, man, I'm really proud of it, and the reception has been.
Dude, we're really proud of you.
I
Something's
am.
been
I am so
crazy.
proud of you.
Yeah.
I mean, again, me and Bear, we've been friends for a long time.
Yes.
We've had a falling out just because of something stupid.
I wouldn't say it was a falling out. It was
It was
never
a misunderstanding.
falling out.
Let's put it that way. It was a
we
misunderstanding.
We were put in a position that we had to, at the time, plus our age, we were
young.
But no, it was just not even a misunderstanding. I think somebody else put us in position where we were kind of butting heads because somebody else's. But coming back years later, who cares? I'm glad it all happened because I wouldn't be sitting here.
Well, not only that, but I mean, a lot of the things that we went through, me being a brief radio on-air personality, and then working at the nightclubs, because that was all I did was manage nightclubs, the biggest nightclub, which was Excalibur. And then, dancing for Spear Rock and DJ International and Eddie and all them. I mean, it brought you to a time where you can, like you said earlier, you can't speak on what you weren't a part of. And we were a part of a lot of things. A lot of studio times, a lot of clubs, a lot of DJs. It just brought it full circle. But I am so proud of you, not just because of the books and being a publisher now, but the growth.
Just hearing your career.
Yeah.
Right now.
You guys are all part of it. Every single person in this room, from QMM over there. I can't call you QMM.
Yeah, he can't call you. Call him by his right name.
That's Quick Mix, man.
That's Quick
It's always going to be Quick Mix. And a serious DJ, too. I don't know if you guys ever seen him scratch and do his thing. I have years and years of it. So much props to Mike. Pablo, we weren't, like I said, you guys are a huge influence on this. You guys are part of the story. You know what I mean? And it was just, it's not to be, it's the truth. It's the truth. And this is a story that needed to be told. It's not, I really want to get into this next topic, is like the story that's only half told.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. So, first of all, I'm very honored that you wanted to do this with me, because I know you had like a whole entire book tour line and everything else, and all you kept saying is stuff. Yours is the one that's going to mean a lot more to me than anything else, because the day that I told you, or the article dropped in 5 magazine about the conference last year, and the call that I got from a particular DJ, a known DJ, and then you.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then you came and you were like, Steph, what's going on? And I explained, hey, the article and stuff like that. I was like, the article should have read a little differently, but it didn't. But in any case, you were like, I don't care how it's written. The fact that you're doing this, I'm glad it's you doing this. Someone needed to do it, and it was the right person, and it was you. And I got off the phone, and I was like in awe for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, man, this is coming from Bear. Like, it hit me hard, because I was going through so much drama, and Pablo can attest all the stress that I went through.
I just met Steph.
Yeah, he just met me this past year.
Edwin Get Done Crosby said, "What's up?"
Oh, we love it.
Like Ed, where we go way back. But me and Steph connected like right away, because you can feel when you talk to Stephanie, you can feel her passion and all that, man. It's like, it's an awesome, like,
she was there.
Positive energy, man.
But there's only certain people that could tell the story because you were actually there, And then, like I said, I'm gonna say it off the bat. Last year was the 40th anniversary of House and all that, and I wouldn't say hurt, but I was more of a disappointed. I didn't get one phone call. And then you're talking about 40-year career here, and the people that were doing the events are people that I work with, and that I've done records with. All these records that are streaming hundreds of thousands of times all over the world in my own hometown. After I had dedicated 40 years to it, I didn't even get a phone call or
I don't think there was.
Wow. But there were so many different things going on in Chicago last year for it. The thing was, I'm gonna be honest, I was too busy to worry about it. It really was, but it was a little, like, what? Really?
Well,
even though I did the record thing and the radio thing and the record store thing and the record label thing and the promoter, forgot I was impure. We were the number one promotion in Chicago history, man. Like, we were spending $100,000 a month on just bringing in Zentra, Crowbar, Karma, Red 05,
I think, and I'll say it, and it'll probably come and bite me in the ass later on, but I'll say it. I think the people that they chose were people that already were in that pocket so to speak.
Yeah, cruise, man.
And I think, you tend to look at only what the beginning was. And again, I go back to why I did this. I got sick and tired of seeing the same people at the same time with the same stories. And I'm like, dang, I think Benji might got to mention, like, because he had to. You couldn't ignore Benji Espinoza only because of the fact that he did take you to another level. And there was no denying that at all. Him and Rocky, they took you to another level. But again, you didn't include Martin Boogeyman Luna, who had a huge part in DJ International. Huge. How could you? I mean, if you're going to tell a story about house music and what it brought, then you needed to bring him in. It was very heartbreaking that they didn't bring a lot of major Latinos, I will say it, Latinos, into the mix of the 40 years of house music. That you didn't even acknowledge. Like, okay, they have this whole thing at Navy Pier, the whole board, and I believe it said Liz Torres and it said Jesse Velez. There were a couple of names that were mentioned in there, but it wasn't enough. And I think at the end of the day, everybody will say, well, they didn't have much of a part. That's not true. No. That is not true. And again, I go back to the A-list of the label. You mentioned names. There are Latinos in that list. And yet, again, we keep going back to this. It's only the same 5 or 6 people. And don't get me wrong, I love you guys. I listen to you guys. I've supported you also. I go to your events. But let's be real. Stop saying that it's just you. It's not. It's not. It's not. You guys had a collaboration. It wasn't even about a black and brown thing. It was a collaboration of everything. Vince Lawrence once said on another podcast that he and Jesse Velez were the minds behind Girls Out on the Floor. Well, that tells you there was a collaboration. So why are we not talking about collaborations and making it separate? Separating the two, because there were a lot of collaborations. Mario Reyes should have been recognized. He had a record and he featured Ralphie. It wasn't the other way around. Ralphie will attest to that, and so will Mario. And it's on the record. If you read the labels, it's on there. So I think with doing this and having you here and having that remark from you, that meant the world to me. The world to me. And I will always thank you for that, because as much stress as I was going under, you're like, F them all, Steph. This is you. Do it.
You were there. I mean, we did the Red Dogs. We did the Green Dolphins. We did the Crowbars. We did the Nitros. You know what I'm saying? We did the Totos and the Eric's North and the Private Tenders and the Daytona Clubs and the Congresses and the Ribs and the Aragons. You can't deny it. Hell, let's be real. Before You Dance, the show was actually Tony Batoy's show called House Countdown.
Yep.
I did the theme music. House Countdown. Let's count it down, push Chi-Town. Yeah. That was way before You Dance.
Yep, it was.
And that story isn't told either. It's kind of like, well, then, you know what? I've always been the kind of dude, like, I'm doing myself. I don't need anybody to, if I want to open and throw a party, I'm going to throw my own party. If I'm going to say the story, I'm going to say my own story, because I was there. You can't deny it.
No.
You can't. I was DJing in 8th grade. I was throwing my first party I was a freshman in high school for a bunch of 8th, 7th graders, and I made $86 that day.
Which was a lot.
At St. Luke's church by my house. My father was a security guard. My mother collected the money.
Yeah.
And I booked one of my friends, Juan Throwdown Hernandez. I booked his DJ stuff. He charged me $100, and we threw a party. We packed it. It was a bunch of 8th graders from Rantano, grammar school. But those are the fond memories I have, and you can't take that away. So 40 years later, you damn right I'm going to celebrate that, because the story is half told. I'll put it to you like this. In 1983, I was 10 years old. I wasn't 21. So that means for me to be 21, that's 11 years. So 11 years of my life, from 10 years old to 21 years old, I'm in the house scene. I wasn't hanging out with Frankie Knuckles or them at the warehouse at 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? There's thousands of us like that.
Yeah.
Thousands. And we spent so much money and put into this industry. And not to be recognized for it is ridiculous. Like, have you ever hung out at Pronto Printing at 2 a.m. waiting for them to give you your flyers?
Yeah.
I have. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever been at the Mega Mall trying to sell mixtapes? I I have. Have you ever been at the Rib at 17 and over while Jungle George is beating the shit out of everybody? Mm-hmm. I have. Those stories aren't told. Have you ever been on the stage performing Booty Call with Fast Eddie at the B-Bash? I have. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you don't hear those stories. And there was a big kind of story versus radio and underground in Chicago. It was kind of a war for a while where underground was too cool for the radio and radio was too cool for underground. So you had to pick your genre where you were going to go. And I wasn't on the radio because I'm too cool. Or, I'm too cool to not be on the radio. So it became this big giant ball of house music, and it was really, really wrapped up and twined really tight. But there's certain people that can tell the story, and fortunately, Mike can't. I can too. I know you can, because I was shorty watching, Gordon Tech watching Bad Boy Bill for the first time at a Spanish club dancing. Hector Lopez up there killing it, ripping Al, throwing all these parties all over when it was his turn. Jungle Boy Joe, rest in peace. I did it. I was there. You know what I mean? Watching, Tyree Cooper, Cool Rock Steady got me into the Zulu Nation.
Yeah.
I mean, Mary and Charlie doing the jumping music mixtapes. The guys at underground at Hip House. Joe Naughty Boy Nardi and all those guys over there. Hyperactive, they're one of the greatest techno producers and DJs of all time. And he's, these are people that created this. But the story needs to be told. It's not just the same thing. Like I said, I was 10 years old. I was not at the warehouse hanging out. But I was listening to house and trying to do it just as much. And I had 11 years of that in the hood. 16, 17, 18. Dating girls at house music dancers and DJs. And it was a giant thing. Alcatraz. I could keep going. And the story hasn't been told. I don't think there's a lot of people that can actually tell the story.
Well, and I think that a lot of people did not venture out to different areas. I mean, I've always said that I've been blessed.
Yeah.
Because from being a back of the yards girl and doing my parties on the south side and going to the roller rink and stuff like that, I was able to to travel to Centrum and go see these DJs
huge.
and meet, Al over at Janelle's and getting kicked out quite a few times.
Yeah.
But Al even remembers those days, and he's like, all you wanted to do was dance. That's all you wanted to do was just dance. That's it.
You were badass dancer.
Thanks.
Let's be real about it.
And he was just like, that's it.
Down. On stage, killing it. It's not gonna hurt.
Play Deputy
That's how come I got an artificial hip now.
Next time, play Deputy of Love, you're going to see her just boom.
I got a surprise for this conference this year.
Oh, look out.
I do have a surprise.
Okay,
So I just need to let you know.
Look out.
Be prepared. But I don't think everybody kind of ap the chance to go and venture out. Even at Union Hall when I met First Lady, Chrissy. And I was promoting her song and putting up the posters and trying not to get arrested. I think I got arrested twice for putting up posters and taking down posters.
Most house people got arrested about the averages twice.
Because we were always putting up pronto printing posters to to
Mark
promote.
and Lucy.
Yes, shout out to Mark and Lucy.
Shout out to Mark and Lucy.
But I think the other part is that changing with the times, because when I had my first child, I was out the scene for 9 months, and all of a sudden the music changed. Like from literally 1992 and 1993, it changed.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden I came in and it was like, hey, you got to go to these undergrounds. I was like, what the heck is an underground?
Yeah.
And then I would go on Milwaukee Avenue listening to Lego.
1355 Milwaukee,
yes.
500 West Cermak. Shout out to all those guys.
Yep.
Charles Little.
Well, Gene Ferris, because Gene Ferris was just starting out at that time. And all of them, I got to meet them.
Yeah, Mark Grant, Boo Williams,
Mike Pierce. Yeah.
Dearborn.
It was just like a huge opening, but the other end of that was they were reintroducing disco again in those parties.
Filters.
Yes. And all of a sudden it was like everybody knew again what disco was. Like it was like a revival of disco, and people were going to all these parties at the underground. E Smooth,
Eric.
he was like in there. He was just like, I need to see what this is, and he was always in them, always in them. Yeah. So I mean, it was just a time and era to like learn about the different parties and stuff like that.
Just to be around like the warehouse, I was 18 years old and I was working for Julian, so we would go to the warehouse. It was at the end of the night, and like I said, downstairs is Mike Dunn, Armando. I mean, are you kidding me? Then upstairs is K. Alexi. What? And then Martin the Boogeyman beating it down, and then Julian would come and finish the night. You talk about some of the greatest minds of all time, and like in a matter of 3 or 4 hours, I just go up and sit. And Julian would be like, "You can't. You're too. You got to sit right here." And I wouldn't disrespect them, because it's true. Like, guys giving me a shot to be in. I'm not up there trying to drink and kick it. No, I'm not at all.
JJ was a trip at that door.
And then you had Joe Smooth
Yeah.
walking around. Benji, which is one of the greatest spirits and people I've ever met in my life. Rest in peace, Mr. Espinoza.
Yes.
His brother,
JJ.
And those are people, and they took me in like a family. Rocky, you're walking around. There's Rocky Jones. Oh, there's Mike Dunn. Oh, you know what I mean? Oh, there's Julian. Oh, wow, there's Armando. And Armando actually took me in as a homie, and like brought me downstairs. And while he's DJing, the warehouse downstairs is packed. And I'm in the booth with him, and I'm looking through his crates, and he would even let me records. Take them home, record them, and bring them back. Bro. I was like, wow. You know what I mean? And here I am, little shorty, listening to him at Medusa's, and Ferris Thomas doing his thing, and at Da Vinci Manor, and it's just, and you would see these posters. It was just a time and a place, for sure. Then there's a whole other act of it. People forget the whole freestyle thing.
Yeah.
Freestyle is a religion here in Chicago, bro.
Yeah.
From TKA to Judy Torres to Johnny O to
Sandy
George
Castillo.
Lamont.
They actually just all does live here.
I told George. Me and George are still very, very close, and I'm like, yo, dog, you should just move to Chicago, man. You're here every
He's
other
here.
week.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's here more times
You
than
know?
him and Cynthia.
Yeah,
They just
you
need
know?
to have a space
But
out here.
the point is, and that was the whole other concept, Latino concept. Like, people are spending money to get ready to go to these events, buy tickets and buy liquor and get there, and that's a huge contribution that isn't spoken about much.
The
Like
Latino
I said,
market.
there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars that have been put into this house music community by the Latinos, and it still hasn't been recognized right.
Well, and that's why we're doing this. That's why I love the name of our show. Don't count us out.
Don't
Yeah,
count us
don't
out.
count us out.
That's right. We're making our names heard. We're making our voices heard really loud. And with people like you, I love your story, man. You got a lot of passion, dude.
Dude, this is what
You're really into this.
This is what I did my whole life, and I always said it as a young kid. Like I told you, my parents were like, yo, do whatever you want, but you got to be educated. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to learn how to do this and make this a business. And it was tough. It's not easy. Like, people are like, oh, man, we struggle every day to stay relevant. And now, remember, and my kids you can attest to this even more. You had about 25 records that were out that you had to have.
Yeah.
And everybody had those 25 records, right? Now there's 250,000 of these songs, and you can't. It's too much. It's too big, right? So for us to concentrate on saying, okay, this shit, yeah, okay, the world and the culture is way bigger now. It's way bigger, And there's DJs that don't even give a damn about a Chicago house music and the culture. And I don't care about that. I'm making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a gig, bro, traveling all over the world. I don't care. Why do I care about that stuff? And people got to realize that that's the truth.
Yeah.
We have, because we're family. It's important to us. But, you get a little raver, or I won't say a little raver, but somebody, a partier that's in Ibiza right now listening to, a certain DJ that's new. They don't care about no little Stacy Kid. They don't care about no BearWho. You know what I mean? And they don't care about the Chicago aspect of it. That's irrelevant to them. Like, what? I don't care. Whatever. You know what I mean? But to us, we know that this is something that we embraced and grew up with, and it is important.
What do you think changed? Because I know when the World Music Conference, it was a huge thing for Chicago.
Here.
Very huge. No, in Miami, and everybody would go down.
The Miami Music Conference.
Everybody from Chicago would go there because that's how they got heard, they got seen. What do you think changed the entire dynamic?
Wi-Fi, internet.
That's what I keep hearing, yeah.
Internet. We went, like I told you, we went from vinyl to streaming and TikTok. And how you get booked, the first thing they look at is how many followers you have on TikTok. I can give a damn how good you are. All I know is you got 1 million followers? Yeah. I'm booking you, Jack. Why? And I'm going to explain this to everybody. Everybody take your notes out, your pens, your pads. Here we go. It's about selling tickets.
Yeah.
It's about selling tickets. Are you going to pay $100 to come and see this person, or are you going to pay $100 to come and see this person? This person you don't know. You're not going to spend $100 to. These people you've heard of, yes, you would spend $100 on them. That's how you get booked.
You heard it here. You get booked.
Spotify, TikTok, who's following you? That's how you get booked. How many playlists are you on? You can be on 1,000 playlists a weekend if you have the right tune. The average lifespan of a dance record is about 10 days. I have a brand new record out right now with Todd Terry called HOUSE.
I heard it.
You know, and that's just that. I got about 100 other ones that I've put out. And that's another thing. People don't even know. I have hundreds of records that I've put out. First record I ever put out was with Tony Boom Boom Badeo called El Chupacabra on Boom Records. And let me tell you,
Mike's nodding his head. He's like,
I
yeah.
did that record. Tony puts me in his garage, and this is where Tony had his studio. He's like, okay, you want to make a record? I was still working at Jump Music time. Let's go. Here's this. This is a drum machine. This is what this does. I'll see you later. Bye. And he locked me in. And I put Cookie on that, believe it or not, on that record. I recorded myself as Cookie saying something. And I'll never forget B96 that weekend. The only person that played my record was Robert Didick, Bobby D. And as soon as I heard the beats coming, I was like, Mom, that's my record. We listened to that. He only played it for like 30 seconds.
Hey, but he played it.
But he played it, and and then that was it. I was addicted. I'm like, I gotta keep doing this. This is not gonna stop now, man. And then Rafi Rosario and I made a record together. And Rafi Rosario is my #1 hero, and he's the reason I started DJing. Puerto Rican, fierce, amazing, passionate, and he comes from the same neighborhood and kind of pathways that I came from, and I just loved him. First record I ever bought was El Puertorriqueño and Kill Yourself Dancing, Razzmatazz.
Yeah.
On Sunset, right?
And the yellow label.
Yeah, the yellow label.
And then that was it. That's what I wanted to do. I did a record with Ralphie. He took me to the studio, and we were working on. Lego was there too, and he recorded a bunch of vocals and whatever. And then he gave me the vocals, and I was like, I can have these. And he's like, Yo, do whatever you want. So one of the records I came out with called The Birth of Fuzzy Cufflinks. Those vocals are Ralphie's. So if you listen to it, those are Ralphie's vocals and my beats.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Shout out to the Raz. Love you, bro. And he supported my book. He was one of the first, like you guys, he was like, Bear, this is amazing. Shout out to Rafi Rosario.
You know, I've seen the DJ scene change from, let's say, reel to reel, because obviously my uncles were DJs.
We did it, Mike.
And then from reel to reels, you went to vinyl.
Yes.
From vinyl, you went to CDs. From CDs,
Serato.
you went to, Serato. And now,
USB.
Yep. So let me ask you, because I know there's another one out there. Am I
New
missing
one.
it?
It's new.
Okay. How does a DJ in general, outside of you, how does a DJ continue to evolve and move with this time? Because there's some DJs out there, like I'll say, like the DJs who just hit the sync button that apparently everybody has a problem with these days.
I don't. I love it, and I keep using it. It makes me better. It makes me sound doper. And test me. Come test me when you see me on sync. I love it. I've earned it. I can do what I want. I sound good.
Exactly. You've earned it. So
You have to
what
put that, right?
what technology do you see now? Because I know,
AI,
like,
baby.
you see it there?
AI's next.
Okay.
Absolutely.
AI meaning that you don't need to have.
No,
Oh,
AI
you can't
is going to intensify you, make you better. You can't escape technology. Here it is. Do people still rock Atari and ColecoVision? No. Or do they play PlayStation?
I think they rock all of them right now.
PlayStation is what's up. Atari, oh yeah, you might ding, ding, if you have it.
Yeah, I mean,
You're not gonna stop
people are investing in it
technology.
still.
You're not going to stop technology. Yeah, because it's retro. Anything
Right.
retro is cool.
Yeah.
Vinyl right now is big. You know what I
Again,
mean?
yeah.
I get it. I understand it. I understand it as purists. Absolutely. But you're not going to stop technology, man. The people that are 25 now will be 50 one day. The people that are 50 now will be 75. It won't stop. Music is going to keep progressing. It's going to keep getting different, right? DJs are going to... There's kids now that can DJ off their phones.
Yeah.
I saw an app the other day from my homie Laid Back Luke where it's this little thing and he's DJing like off this little thing. And I'm like, whoa. You know, the controllers, the DJ controllers you see are getting more and more advanced and smaller. And it's not going to stop. So what I'm saying is if you don't embrace technology, that's cool, but somebody else is. And they're going to use it and make themselves better.
You wanna-
AI can't make
You
you
want to
make
keep
you
up
dope.
with the times.
It can't. It can make you sound doper.
Yeah.
It's like if you're an artist, it's going to make you a better artist.
Yeah.
If you're a singer, it will make you a better singer. If you're an author, it's going to make you a better author. It's in your phones, y'all. You're listening to technology right now. This is a podcast. We're using tech. It's not going anywhere. You got to embrace it. If you don't want to embrace it, that's cool.
So you think
Somebody else
AI
will.
will replace a human?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Humans are going to need
I
human
mean,
interaction.
in DJing.
No, Humans are gonna. We have it
I
now.
don't think
It's
so.
called playlists. Like you can put Spotify on and just let it play. You can ask any. You can ask it to play any. But the humans still got to make it. The humans still got to have that interaction. You go to a club for what? Interaction. The music is part of it, but it's the interaction. Oh, Steph, what's up, girl? What's going on? Yo, you want to drink on it? Oh, what's up, my good? That's what people go to clubs for. Right. AI is just a techno. It's a tool. I mean, look at some of the sound systems I run solely on computer now. You know, you can't escape tech.
You
just
gotta
not
embrace
going
it.
to. You got to embrace it.
Right, exactly.
You don't have to.
So
but
keep up with technology
Why
is
not?
what he's saying.
is anybody rocking one of them old school phones right now? The ones that look like the old ones, you know,
bags?
You know what I'm talking about? The ones that we used to have.
The bricks.
Yeah, the bricks. I don't see it. Everybody's got iPhones, right? And your iPhone right now, you can go ahead and do some AI on it, whatever it is. So I'm just
check
saying. And then people are like, oh, it's not fair. What are you complaining about, man? Make another record, man. You want to do away with all this controversy? Make a hit record.
There you go.
We used,
That's
to
it.
put, we used to put stickers on our records. Now you
Yeah,
can
the
just
cube,
Shazam it.
the cube.
No, well, I mean, so they can't see what the label was.
That was hilarious. And we all had the same record, so it's like, yeah, boy. Everybody knew what record it was, but for some reason, we had stickers on so nobody could tell. You can't. Everybody had the same record. I mean, who didn't play Fantasy Girl in their mix? And everybody had like stickers on Fantasy so somebody could see it's not Fantasy. Bro, it's
Shout out to
pure
JR.
You know? So, yeah, shout out to JR and Felix and all them guys, Roy. But my point being is, we used to do some really cool stuff. Like, that was fun. But at the end of the day, you know, it was a culture thing.
Well, what I'm saying is now you can Shazam it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You got
And
it.
what is Shazam? AI.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can't. You're not. And another thing is, if we're going to prepare, you ain't going to DJ forever. At some point, you're like, oh, okay. Michael Jordan one day was like, okay, I'm done. The next generation, the kids are going to be technically savvy to a lot of stuff that we do not have yet.
Yeah.
And AI is a baby. It's new. It doesn't know anything yet. We are teaching it. So if you're able to, like I did with the books, put it in a way where I can use it in a positive manner. Just, okay, I don't use AI, right? Is there any book? We're not having this conversation
Right.
then.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna draw. I hate. I can't draw. I can't even draw stick
I had to
figures.
ask him. I was like, "Did
can't
you
draw
take
stick
up
people.
drawing when we were
And then
younger?
people
I
are like,
didn't
oh, you
remember
should have got
that."
an illustrator. Oh, that would have worked. So now I got to go find somebody to illustrate
Illustrate
it,
it.
pay them, and go through all sorts of bigger. This would have never got done.
Yeah, I asked him.
So I was like, let me embrace tech. We're DJs. We embrace technology, man. That's what we do.
I like what you said, Dave. It really stood out the way you said, I earned it. I can
Yep.
play sing. I love that. You're right.
I loved how he.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
it was very bold in saying.
Yeah, it's very bold.
I went through my entire
And
phase of everything.
Here's the thing. As a producer and somebody that makes records and being a pretty, I'm cocky when it comes to DJing because everybody around me made me that way. When you're sitting with Pablo Punkout or a Quick Mix Mike or a Sneak or a Lego or a Derek Carter, you better hold your own, boy. You know, and when it comes to that, whether you're DJing with Armand Van Helden or with Daft Punk or with Roger Sanchez or with Gene Ferris, you better be able to rock your shit, especially coming from Chicago, right? So I have a little bit of cockiness when it comes to that. So let's get back to the sync thing, right? It makes me sound better. I don't have to worry about, I can do other things. I can make tracks, I can throw vocals, I can loop this. I'm not worrying about, man, is it on beat still? Bro, that's like me saying, oh man, that my TV does color, but I choose to see it in black and white. Do you know what I'm saying? Or my phone sends text message, but I'm not doing that. Come on now.
No way.
You know what I'm saying? So me using sync, it allows me to be a way better performer. So I'm gonna use
I
it,
applaud you
and
for
I'm
saying
proud of it.
Yeah, let's go do some more applause here. Well said, well said.
It's there for a reason.
Yep. So now, what is in your weekend this weekend?
Man, so this was a big deal to me, and the reason Latinos in the House was a big deal to me was because I was like coming home to people that were there. You know what I mean? Like once again, Steph, you know, Mike, Pablo Punkout Gonzalez. Shout out to Julio the Rebel. I was just thinking about you, Julio, wherever you're at right now. I know you so about Julio Sierra, another just flawless DJ. I mean, Julio the Rebel to me is one of the best ever. I always say that, and we went to high school together. We've been friends for years. Today, after this was a big deal to me because we're going to talk some real shop, you know. I can't front on you guys because you guys know me since we've all known each other since so I can't be like, come in here, yeah, I got the shit. Come on, man. Bear, you better come down back to
You
the
know,
Red Boy,
I
and
would.
then
I'll be the
Chachi bring
first
me
one to
down
turn
real
around and
quick.
tell you. What?
But so today after this, we're doing a pop-up party.
Okay.
Yes,
We're
we
doing
are.
a massive pop-up party. I called some of the homies. I'm like, yo, I'm coming home. I do not depend on people to do anything. BearWho, if you know me, does what I want, when I want, how I want.
Fly.
So I hollered at the homies, DJ Who Dat, DJ Chic, Sluggo, Crank from the Hot Mix 5,
Yes.
Hot Mix Harry Hot Mixing Hernandez, Fat Man, Julio, and Julius the Mad Thinker. I'm like, yo, I'm coming home. Let's all together just take over some little bar or tavern and just do something that is like crazy. So all the fellas like, man, bro, you coming home? Let's do it.
Where's this at?
So it's gonna be a Happy Tavern. Is it?
Happy Tavern.
Happy Tavern.
On Elston.
On
I like that
Austin.
name.
And the RSVP is closed.
So let's be real. So let me say about the RSVP thing, because people, as soon as I kind of let it out the bag that we were going to do it, shout out to my partner Pamp and the Drummond brothers. We got about 150, 200 RSVP guest list requests within a day. The place holds about 100 people. So basically, the only way I could say it was like, yo, everybody show up and show up early. This isn't our first rodeo. We've been to many clubs and bars that we can't get in because everybody's packed and you got to wait outside in order to get in. So we're going to pop it off. We're doing a pop-up tonight. All the fellas are going to be there. It's an industry kind of thing, so we're inviting.
Pablo will be
Yeah,
there.
all people that have made this culture what it is. And then it's my mom's 70th birthday.
Yes, tomorrow.
Nice. But
Woo! Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's my mother's
Oh,
70th
that
birthday. So, I'm here for that, celebrating mom and dad and back home. Happy birthday to my mom, Jeanette, love you. And then Sunday, I am doing another podcast. It's been a week of podcasts and live interviews and TV stuff. And
Yeah, it has.
yesterday, and then so I'm doing the SNS, Steve Still Curly and Skip's podcast on Sunday morning.
Skip.
Shout out to Steve and Skip. And then the big book signing at Wax Vinyl Bar. With Lee Farmer, 1549 West Chicago. I'm going to do a full interview, book signing, question answer kind of thing. I invited people from every single walk of my career, from Clemente. I invited actual students that at the time were 19, 18 that graduated. Now they're 21, 22. Nice. And they're going to come out and see me, and family. Anybody that's been part of the journey. But that's on Sunday. So, and then back home on Monday to get ready for Winter Music Conference,
yeah.
which I got 2 shows.
I saw that.
Yeah, so
why don't we talk about the 2 shows you got going on?
Miami, baby. So, I own my own promotional company called Time to Bounce Party People, and I throw parties throughout the world, and I book myself, so I don't need any suckers trying to book me. I don't need you.
Love that cockiness.
I book myself and pay myself, and that's what it is. I throw parties based because I was taught by the best party promoters in the world here in Chicago, and I think I can handle it on my own. So I have a party going on. I have a residency at Coyo Taco. I do a Thursday once a month called Bango Bango. Shout out to Todd Terry. And Terry Hunter's playing, Colette and Heather.
I saw that.
Myself, C's Days. Shout out to C's Days and the Tribe. Julius, the Mad Thinker, and my boy Alexander Technique, which is probably one of the greatest techno producers and DJs in the world. That's Coyo Taco on the 27th. And then I'm performing and making my first debut with Freeze Records with Todd Terry's label. I'm performing with the Jungle Brothers, Tony Touch, myself, Mr. B, Junior Sanchez, Ghetto Blaster, Janica 10.
That's going to be hot.
My new team. And, hanging out with the family. So out there, the crew. So lots going on. So as soon as I'm done with this, I head back.
You're a busy bear.
Yeah, that's gonna
this
be
is
his
your fault.
That's
You
gonna
created
be
this,
his
man.
next name, Busy Bear.
No, these guys created it. Now they're tripping on me, man. It's your fault. I was abducted, man, by the dark side of this, and that was it, man.
What's in the future for Bear?
Movies.
Right,
Wow.
movies. You heard it right here.
I own
Movies.
my own
You heard it first.
Yeah, I own my own movie company. It's called Soy Red Films, and we've been working on a movie for about a year now, 2 years, and it's coming to fruition pretty soon. This is a major film on a major theater, picture. It's going to be a movie, not a documentary, not an actual
Movie.
movie, big
Like a
screen.
horror movie.
Yeah. Believe it or not.
I
Yeah,
How did
that's
you know?
right.
felt it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a horror guy. So Ref films are going to be a little thriller. I like movies like that. So that's
But
that's
you
next.
know, you may have to turn around and back us up for this documentary because you know.
Hey man, my dream, honesty with it, is to have everybody go to the theater and look up and see our name
Up in
up there.
lights.
Because once again, Latinos even in Hollywood don't get it. You know what I mean? My partner's Freddie Rodriguez. One of my partners is
No
Freddie
way.
Rodriguez. Yeah, from Chicago. Shout out Fred Dog. He has a podcast out with Wilmer Valderrama, and in the podcast they talk about how Latinos get no shine even in Hollywood. You know, Zoe. Shout out to Zoe Saldana who won the Oscar.
Yeah, who won the Oscar?
But
Good for her. I'm sorry, laughing for her. There
and,
you go.
hopefully that's going to be a breakthrough for other Latino filmmakers. But the next step for me is definitely not acting. I'm going to own the movie. It's my script.
I think it's definitely gonna have a good soundtrack.
Oh, you best believe it
So
will.
the soundtrack is going to be something that is very special, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to make the movie, to make the soundtrack, the score, to be something that's never.
Yeah.
I'm going to compare it to something like a Saturday Night Fever soundtrack.
Ooh, now that would be hot.
So that's what's next for me. These are my books. My book days probably after this is probably done. I'm gonna retire after these 3. One day when I'm not here on this earth anymore, these books are still gonna be around. So
Oh, not only just the books, the music,
yeah.
The movie,
the mixtape. I still got the mixtape. Still
I
got
have
the
a
whole
bunch of
mixtape.
mixtape, but by Fullerton Beatdowns.
Yep. I made him hear it the other day. and I put it
Shout
in.
out to the mixtapes all over the world, man. Well, you all don't know, man. But you to have your mixtape out there with someone else, I got to give props to people for the mixtape thing. Gino Rockaromo, Caesar Nito, Tony Boom Boom, Mario Smoking Diaz, Kenny Jason, Tony Boom Boom, Julian, Bad Boy Bill, Eddie B. House, Bobby D with the crazy edits. It was a whole culture.
countless.
Yeah, I remember because I used to sell them.
Countless.
$10.99, $12.99. Bills was always the most expensive, but Bill
Yep.
was sold out within hours.
Bill was he was one of the few that did like a double CD.
He was the first one to do a
Bang
legal
the Box.
compilation.
Yeah.
Bang in the Box, and it turned the whole.
And did a video with it.
Honestly, and my sister's in that video. I was there. Alex Peace. I remember the video shoot.
We
My
were all at Crowbar.
My little sister was in that video, and Alex Peace is dancing in there. And shout out to all that, man. And shout out to Cool Rock Steady. I miss him. He was what a character. Just if you don't know who Cool Rock Steady is, you can go on YouTube and see some of his live performances, and it's something else, man.
Yeah.
Remember when he called out Cool Rock? He called out KRS One.
You and nobody.
Oh my God! He had
ain't
in the video,
nobody.
he has a meat coat walking down like Harlem. What street was that? He's walking down with a meat coat. You ain't nobody. Oh no. Good old
Man.
days, man. Hey, shout out to Pablo Punga Gonzalez, man. This guy was on every single flyer, every party, and rocked it every single time without question.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
And what was your DJ team?
Majestic
The
Spinners.
Majestic Spinners.
Right.
And you guys had a dope logo. We used to throw parties like it was Northwest Hall.
Average Hall, Central.
Centrum was,
Very
my goodness.
Goes on.
You know, Centrum, and then you talk about 2,000 kids
Yeah.
every week.
We packed that place.
Shout out to Ziggy D,
Ziggy, Luis Ramirez.
Luis Ramirez, Leon,
Frankie
Anthony, Frankie, Baby Huey, who passed away, and the whole CTO crew. I mean, shit. This is what I did, man. This is my life. This is no joke, man. I took this serious.
I am so proud. I am like, outside of being proud of, honored of being your friend and saying that I know a publisher. I just think that you're just doing fantastic things, and I know like this entire next 10 years for you is just going to be phenomenal. You're just going to be way beyond what you think. I am, my bucket list is to be an actress, so if you need somebody, let me know.
That's on the bucket list?
Yeah, it's on the bucket
Okay.
list. Yeah, this was on the bucket list, and I didn't think this was going to come to fruition, but it did. But I'm just so proud of you, Bear,
Thank
and
you,
I
Steph.
wish
Thank
you
you, man.
nothing
So much,
but
man.
positive vibes, positive energy, and just all around huge success,
Yeah.
All the way around, man. And I know you're
appreciate
going
it,
to do
man.
great things in the world, and I know you're going to continue to mentor children because I know that's in your heart, that's your passion, and I know that it's something that never leaves you no matter what.
These books are going to inspire so many kids.
I challenge people
So
to
many kids.
use these books to really put it down. Like we had a little girl. Shout out to Silver Room. Yesterday, shout out to Terry Hunter who showed up in Edward Goodmount Crosby to the book signing yesterday at the Silver Room. We had a little girl. Her name was Montana. Her mother was with her, and she came and she saw the books, and she was reading the books, looking at the books, and she said she found herself in the book. One of the characters looked like her.
Wow.
And this little girl, who knows, will turn out to be the next Colette or the next Heather or the next,
Lady D.
Oh my God. All right, so you mentioned Darlene. Let me tell you how Lady D is such a part of my story. Not only is she an incredible friend, and we've been, she's a fantastic DJ. I hired her to work brought her into underground construction. She was there for quite some time and brought in some serious music, brought in Roy, brought in Ron. Shout out to Lady D, and I'm so proud of her too for everything that she's doing. So
Yeah,
shout out
she's
to
rocking
Darlene
it.
Jackson, man, for sure.
She was a huge part. That Bulls thing last year.
Oh
was just
man, and then she was part
phenomenal.
of Super Jane and had her own record label, Delectable, and just I'm on that label too. But yeah, I definitely don't think she gets enough credit at all on everything that she does. And she actually was one of the people that inspired me to go back and get my master's because she did it.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm about to finish my master's. I said, damn, I'm gonna go get mine.
Well, now you guys are going to inspire me to go get mine.
Why not?
I've been sitting on it for 2 years. I'm like, I don't know if I want to go through all that, but hey,
It's over before I know it.
that's what I hear.
And
It's
that's
just a
with
lot
you-
of
and it's with you
dedication.
forever.
It's a lot of dedication.
Oh, it is. Homework is something, and you gotta do all your papers and everything. But at this age, it's fun. You get into it, anything else besides an A+, I was angry. So I graduated with like a 4.2 GPA because I took more classes than I needed. So I had a 4.2 GPA.
So you an educated DJ.
I've always been like very, very into education because I wanted to be able to go to. I'm Puerto Rican in my mind. Si tú te vas a sentar con estos blanco, and these rich and these people that look down on you, there's this little Puerto Rican little mother, and I'm like, no, you got to twist it, homie. I'm just as educated, and I know even more than you do. You want to talk about history? You want to talk about politics? You want to talk about English? You want to talk about math? You want to talk about, you name it? Let's go. I got it. We can do that.
Knowledge is power, baby. Knowledge is power, no matter
Amen.
what. Well, thank you, because I know we got to get ready to go to a party.
Yeah, because it's going to be packed. And I was like, first come, first serve. Yeah, there's a guest list, but 100 people in there is 100 people in there. Whether you're on a guest list or not, you better wait now to get in. So,
Mike, I'm just going to
Showed
make
up.
you fly down the stairs. Pablo, you catch him at the end so we can get in the car and go.
I heard there's people there already. And the
I'm
place opens
sure.
and people are
I'm
already
sure
there.
because it was like get there early. So, but we're gonna go. We're gonna be there. We're gonna be there to support you, and I'll be there Sunday and making sure that I get to that book signing, get my book signing as well.
Man, I hope more people show up. I want people to come. It's gonna be a special night. I guess I can say here. I had a special announcement for that night. So I had somebody who's gonna host it. That's actually gonna sit down and do the questions and interview with me. And his name is Harv Roman.
No way! We were just talking about him.
So Harv Roman, who has seen me, actually Harv Roman was one of my heroes when I was a kid and going to these parties and watching him on stage, hosting it and whatever. I thought he was God to me. It really was. Like, CYC, and he's Harv Roman, and he goes, wow, I want to be that. So how time has changed, and Harv now is one of my biggest supporters. And since he's been there the whole time, it would be an honor for me to come home and have him ask me
That is
to be the
great.
moderator.
That is
So,
awesome.
That's full circle. Right? Yeah.
Well, I guess now we can drop our own little secret. BearWho will be at our second annual Latinos in the House conference September 13th at Distro Hall in Berwyn. So I am so excited. I couldn't believe that he gave me that news last week, and I was like, what? For real? I was like jumping for joy. So yeah, I'm excited. Bear is going to come back to Chicago September 13th, and he is actually going to also be promoting the third book, I'm DJ Me. So we're really, really excited. We're going to be really pumping this book up right before the October release.
Yes.
Any lasting words that you want us to end with?
Listen, if it were to all end today, this has been what a blessing. The whole DJ thing, to say that I was part of it. A couple of weeks ago, we were cleaning out the house during like the spring cleaning, and I forgot that I'm actually in the Daft Punk book.
Wow.
And there's a whole little my pictures in there, and it has this whole thing about me and part of the Daft Punk thing, and it's just from even you know, even from Julian Perez and Sneak and Lego and all the things that have transpired in my life, it's just been, what a story.
From Fullerton Avenue to around the world.
From Fullerton Avenue to around the world, man. You know, going to Gordon Tech parties, like I said earlier, and Notre Dame parties, and Madonna parties, and, you know, party crews and battles of the pom-poms, and we did all of that. And this is a story that needs to be told. You know, it's not just one way. And I just want to thank everybody for being part of it, and I'm honored that I have been able to take this ride and, you know, share my experiences with people.
Well, thank you, man.
Well,
for
thank
coming
you.
down.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And just so you all know, Cookie, Candy, back together again.
Oh, we didn't even talk about it.
No, we didn't even talk about it. We got time, baby, but we got to get a party.
Yo, so I was Cookie. After I did my tenure with Julian and B96, and it was time for me to spread my wings, Stephanie came in as Candy.
Yeah.
And took over that portion of it and made it even doper. And took it to another level. So mad appreciation for that, because at the end of the day, it was to keep the culture going, and that's what was important.
Yep.
Cookie and Candy, I like that.
Cookie and Candy together for the first time, actually.
Cookie and Candy together for the first time. Who
Yeah,
knew
actually
that wasn't no
talking
picture
about
when we were younger?
Yeah.
We would be sitting here turning around talking about how we were radio on-air personalities on B96.
Shout out to B96, man. What a movement though there too, man. Like the mixed shows and you know. So
They created a movement that I don't even think they
they
understood.
took what BMX and GCI do, and also KKC, CRX, you know, CYC. So shout out to all the DJs on there too. So you know, you couldn't stream before, so you had to be ready to record, and then you know.
And hope that nobody was talking at the time when you were trying to press play and
Yeah.
record.
What was the biggest record? That's a question for Paolo. What was your go-to record all the time? What was the one that you knew that you were?
Well, it depends who was playing for. So if it was like a house song, we're talking like 85, You Used to Hold Me.
Yeah, that's my favorite record of all time.
Favorite
Boom,
gold.
automatic. You Used to Hold Me.
And did you come in with the doom, 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 or did you used to know, or did the
Yeah, I will use various, but always that bass line was did it. That's all it took.
Yeah.
That's when they heard that bass line. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I'm surprised that I forget you got like a top 10 list of house songs.
That's right.
Because you're not a house
I'm
DJ.
not into house. Like I DJed it, but my stuff is new wave.
New wave.
That's my deal.
Pablo and Jesse downstairs are in a different room all the time at Central or whatnot.
Rapping a little new wave set.
New wave. I'm so in love with you.
That's right. That's right, baby.
I'll be forever. I remember all that. I love that too, man. When you would get down, boy, I'd be like, Depeche Mode and when you lock the target,
there you go. Front for two.
The lines,
you got it, baby.
Yeah, come on now.
You got it.
Come on now. And who was the one that Al used to always bring to Alcatraz, that alternative band that
Just talk about it.
Anything box.
Anything Box. Oh my God. You couldn't get in. Every time Anything Box was there, it was forget it. I wouldn't even bother.
We got a plan for that.
That's right.
Me and Pablo have a plan for that.
Baby.
Yep. It's in the works.
Shout out to Al Cisneros again, man. What you did and what Tony did, man. And Ziggy, and just like Martino Spinning Ramos, I don't give you enough credit. Thank you for what you did too.
The man who was on every single flyer in the world.
He loved this. He
Chicago.
loved this culture. He lived and breathed this. And you know who were the OGs? Because like I said, you would meet him at Pronto Printing on a regular basis. So.
Every weekend they were there.
Well, thank you, Bear, for coming and just embracing us with all this knowledge and just being here. And it means the world to me to have you a part of Latinos in the House. I'm looking forward to you coming back for our conference September 13th. I'm looking forward to these books on Sunday. Everyone, please go to Amazon, pick up these 3 books, or as they dropped. Right now, we got this book coming out.
Right.
This book is already out.
Right.
I can DJ Anywhere is coming out March
Next
21st.
week. Yep.
And then in October, we got I'm DJ Me. So please pick up these books. They're beautiful books. And just enjoy them with your kids. Have that moment with your kids and allow them to just express their own dreams to you. And I think it'll just open up a huge conversation. And just in general. Bear, man, you are such a beautiful spirit. Thank you so much for being here.
It's an honor to be here, man. I'm glad to be home.
Pablo?
It's
Love you,
cold
brother.
though, man. It's cold out here.
It's not cold.
It's
not cold.
I miss my palm trees. I miss the ocean. I miss that, boy. I got.
You go back to it on Monday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I go back home on Monday.
Hey, it's going to snow on Sunday. Hope you brought your winter gear.
I did.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
You're good and ready? All right.
Yeah, because it's
I
going
mean,
to drop. It's
I
going to
am
drop
from
as of
Chicago.
tomorrow.
I know what it is, so I'm ready.
All right, we want to thank Xavier's Kitchen and Bar as always for hosting us today for this special Friday because normally we're on Wednesdays. I think we're going to do a podcast next Wednesday. It's
That's
going to
right.
be just me and Pablo, and I am going to be able to interview you, Pablo, and
Whoa.
all the things that you've been doing because, man, you have not heard Pablo's story. You may think you have, but you have no clue what this man has done for Chicago in general, outside of CYC and in CYC. So tune in next week, Wednesday, when we'll be here at Xavier's Kitchen and Bar. DJ QMM, known back in the day, because Bear said, Quick Mix Mike. Want to thank you for doing everything behind the scenes. Bear, thank you. Thank you,
wasn't
everybody,
for
for
you,
tuning
dude.
in.
This
Yeah, if
is-
it wasn't for you, this
Hello.
would not be happening. And just everybody, just thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for seeing my vision. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Latinos in the house.
Latinos in the house. Latinos in the house.